All right, time for another Nerdy Virgin podcast. I know to hold the phone farther away from me, so I think we're making, I think that's a major step. I think this is the first time in how many years have I been doing this? How many years have I been doing this podcast? It might be 10 years now. And as you can see, it's really taken off. The key, zero production value. That's really what does it. But how are we doing? Well, still worried about the pineal gland cyst, but no symptoms. I was nauseous and was sick to my stomach, but I think that was a food thing. I think I ate something that disagreed with me. So, because since then I've felt fine. The key is eating boring food. That seems to be the winning formula. And I've been doing that, and ever since I've been doing that, it's been A-okay. I do find that when my intestines are not turning themselves inside out because I've made a stupid food decision, then I do in fact have more energy. So the term irritable bowel syndrome, here's my question. What if what's really going on is I make stupid food decisions and eat things I should not be eating, and I go to the doctor. The doctor's sitting there going, well, I can't just tell him he's an idiot. Let's make up a term. Irritable bowel syndrome. Now, I have to be careful because I shouldn't, make too much light of it, because there are people who have like very severe versions of this, and it is a thing. But it seems like for me, the more I control my diet, the less irritable my bowels are. And I knowingly stop controlling my diet, and suddenly, oh, lo and behold, things are going badly. But I must say, as much as I hate to admit it, I don't know, why do I hate to admit it? Because I wish sugar was good for you. Then that would be heaven. So I'm dealing with that. We have, the riots going on in Los Angeles, which are, downtown LA, which is terrifying. I don't know what to make of it. Terrifying. That's where we'll go. And the thing is, I don't want to get political. I don't think I know enough about any of this to make a commentary. It's just another thing to be terrified of. Just another thing I need to add. Potential civil unrest, maybe a civil war. Just need to add that to the list of things I'm worried about. And the good news is I can I try to cycle, health today, the state of affairs in the government tomorrow, parents' health the next day. I just have to add this into the carousel of things to worry about. End of society as we know it. Then again, I can't help. Maybe it was always this way, and I was just oblivious to it. Growing up in the 90s, it never seemed to be like this. But on the other hand, maybe it was always this way. I don't know. Maybe it always felt this tenuous. where anything could go wrong at any moment. Like, I don't know, is it the world or is it that I'm in my 40s? Which is it? Because both right now seem to be horrible. I can't say for sure. I really can't say for sure. Well, what else do we want to talk about at this point? You know, I'm terrified to admit that today was kind of a good day. Felt good today. I'm terrified to admit that. That's just asking for trouble. I'm doing all right, and then the universe goes, "Oh, we'll change that." That's my big concern. You never want to admit, nothing's ever going great. There were music videos on TV. We were eating at the Yard House. I'm watching these music videos. Women dancing by the pool in the music video. I would be the guy there going, I'm trying to get to the other side of the pool. Does she have to do that right now? Like right here? God, I hate, this is why I hate going to parties. That's who I would be. And that's why I never go. Though, it might, I don't know, maybe something would happen. Maybe something magical would happen if I went to one of these parties and I would meet a beautiful woman and we would hit it off and then, I don't know, 5 years later we'd go, this isn't working out. Because she wants to have kids, she wants to settle down, and I don't. And she needs stability, and I'm not that. And then you got to separate out, is it love or is it emotional codependence? And, good thing we didn't get married, though, because if we had, then there'd be a whole divorce. Oh, boy. So we part, and it's as amicable as it could be, but I can't go to the places that we used to go to together. And all the people we met since we were, there's going to be a split up. And lo and behold, I can't go to the coffee shop anymore because it's her coffee shop. It's her favorite coffee shop. She's going to be there. I don't want to deal with it. Got to find a new coffee shop. Was it worth it? Were those 5 years worth it? No. Well, then it's a good thing I didn't leave my apartment. Trying to... Okay, so what I like to do to really frustrate myself is to write jokes about topics that no one cares about. No one cares about. And the one that I'm kind of locking into right now is the Martian Manhunter. My experience of the Martian Manhunter is limited to the cartoons and, the little bit that they kind of threw in there with Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'd never really read the Martian Manhunter comics. The general idea is that there's this Martian and somehow he gets thrown to Earth. He disguises himself as a detective and goes around helping people. I'm not really sure where the Manhunter piece comes in. I need to do some research on this because it never seemed like in any of the iterations of this character that he was specifically, literally hunting men. He seems like basically a police officer. Which you could argue, okay, well, he's hunting down the villain, so he is a manhunter. But it seems very. I feel like, what I feel like it is? Martian Manhunter There's a good ring to it, and he's not really a manhunter, but it's a poetic license situation. Martian Manhunter sounds good. It's really more of a, Martian patrol officer, but that doesn't sound as good. Martian Manhunter. Like the Predator in the Predator movies, that is a manhunter. He is literally hunting men. But this is a bit more esoteric, a little bit more of a metaphor. I'm not literally hunting man, I'm hunting the concept of the evil person. I'm hunting evil. I'm hunting man as a concept. Manhunter. Am I reading too much into this? I should probably read a comic book so I can have talk from a place of being an expert, maybe. But that's the good news about some of this nerdy stuff, is that, yes, I have not read every single Martian Manhunter comic, but I'm still so much more of an expert than the normal layperson. Or at least enough of an expert for them to say, please change the subject. We don't care. He's really not a man. Yeah, now that I think of it, he's really not a manhunter. Like it's good for the name, but man, like there's such a, he doesn't really hunt. He's a shapeshifter. I think he doesn't eat the bad guys. I think he arrests them and sends them to jail. That's not a manhunter. He's a Martian lieutenant detective. That's more what it is. So, I'm glad we cleared that up. I'm glad we did some work there. We did some good, strong work there. I feel better about that. Watched the movie Monuments Men. Pretty good movie. Premise of the movie is these soldiers during World War II who are in Europe trying to save all the works of art that exist from being destroyed by the war. Really, it's a great premise. And he was trying to, George Clooney, I think, wrote and directed it too. And it was like kind of a comedy drama. I mean, not really a comedy, but it was not, as dark as Saving Private Ryan by any stretch of the imagination. But it was good. I really liked it. I think if there's ever another war on American soil, next week, I don't know, is that unit going to be as big as the unit protecting everything in Europe? I don't know. What are they? They're protecting, stuff that Da Vinci painted and sculpted. Is the unit going to be as big in America? I don't know. We got to save that Batman statue. We got to save that Batman statue outside of the mall in Burbank. We're going to give our lives to save the first McDonald's. We got to make sure the first McDonald's ever built in America does not get bombed, so that all of our children and grandchildren can go there and go, this is where the magic started. Am I being too dismissive of American art? Yes, I am. And I feel a twinge of guilt as I say this. Being dismissive. Well, so I hear this story about how Nathaniel Hawthorne and Herman Melville, friends. Melville's saying that Nathaniel Hawthorne is the American Shakespeare. The American Shakespeare. And I'm a huge Shakespeare fan. I've read The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Is Nathaniel Hawthorne highly talented? Yes. Gotta say, if I had to pick between the two, gun to my head, gonna go with Shakespeare. And I remember, I don't know, as a younger person, when I heard that he was the American Shakespeare, I got angry. I got offended on behalf of Shakespeare. Like, wait, hang on a minute. Let's hang on just a minute, okay? You know, Nathaniel Hawthorne, why say it in one sentence when you can say it in 50? Really? But now, and I used to make fun of him and make jokes at Nathaniel Hawthorne's expense until I read that he didn't really make it big until his 40s, and I'm in my 40s. I haven't made it big, and now I'm like, maybe if I'm lucky, I'll be like Hawthorne. Maybe. And now, why am I making fun of this guy? You know, he finished a novel. What have you done, Josh? So I'm like, okay, I shouldn't be making fun of him, even though it's a lot of sentences. It's a lot. It's a lot. We get that it's a rose bush. He'll go on and on and on about the rose bush. On and on and on about a flower. On and on. Yes, we get that you're comparing the flower to the child. Yes. Like the child, the flower is born out of something and represents something. We get it. And you know what? Maybe I'm the one with the problem here. You know, maybe I am the one who should be made fun of. You know, listen, everyone knows the Scarlet Letter. How many people know this podcast? Look at the number of downloads, and that will tell you. What was the point? Oh, yes. That even I am an American, and I am dismissive of American culture and American art compared to everything else. And why, there's a lot to celebrate. Right? Like, why do I have that attitude? Why do I subscribe to the attitude that just because something is older, it's necessarily better? Which is what I feel like might be happening. Well, this work of art, this painting was painted in the Renaissance, and this was the first time something like this was done. And yes, very important, very valuable, and definitely earth-shattering and groundbreaking and paradigm-shifting. But the stuff that's happening over here is just as valid, but in a different way. Even if it's not paradigm-shifting, or maybe even if the earth doesn't move because the painting was painted, still, it has importance. It's all important. Until you go to the Sotheby's and they're like, yeah, I'll give you $50 for it. All right, well, then maybe not so important. Long story short, at the end of the day, I just would like to make money from this podcast. And I think whatever I need to do, are they going to be trying to save this podcast when they're fighting the war here next week? We've got to save the Joshua Snyder podcast. I don't think it'll be on any of the lists that will need to be saved. Maybe that's the root of it. That's the root of it. They're trying to save all these works of arts. And I got depressed because, my joke book that has all the jokes about Star Trek Deep Space Nine, probably not on the top of the Monuments Men lists of things to save. There we go. Now, that's why I went to bed depressed last night. Don't get me wrong, love the movie, but still, that's what it is. Yeah. Always got to trace it back to me, man. Always got to trace it back to me. All right, that's been 20 minutes. I think we've done what we've needed to do here. I mean, should I just close with my trademark apologizing in case anything I said is overly offensive? For all of you Hawthorne fans out there, I apologize profusely. I'm sure he needs every single adjective he uses in all of those sentences. Thank you very much. Have a delightful week.